Good morning, everyone. It's good to be here. Sorry I'm a little late with the devotional this morning, but Thanksgiving weekend has been pretty busy. I'm sure it's been busy but enjoyable for all of you as well. So, without further ado, let's carry on with the devotional. And This morning, I was thinking about our women's Bible study, which is currently underway. And the study that we're doing, it's called The Power to Change. Um, One of the people that's leading this study in the video clips, her name is Jenny Allen, and she is a pastor's wife from the U.S. And the verses that she brought to our attention, it's out of Ephesians. It's chapter 2, verses 1 to 10. And she talked about, and these passages clearly talk about two paths. And it was a real powerful reminder to grasp the gravity and the significance of the one huge thing that God did for everyone that changes everything. And so I'm going to read those verses. It's quite a chunk, but it's important to include them. So it's called Made Alive in Christ. And you were dead in your trespasses and sins, in which you formerly walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, of the spirit that is now working in the sons of disobedience. Among them we too all formerly lived in the lusts of our flesh, indulging the desires of the flesh and of the mind, and were by nature children of wrath, even as the rest. But God, being rich in mercy, because of his great love with which he loved us, even when we were dead in our transgressions, made us alive together with Christ. By grace you have been saved, and raised us up with him, and seated us with him in the heavenly places in Christ Jesus, so that in the ages to come he might show the surpassing riches of his grace in kindness toward us in Christ Jesus. For by grace you have been saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of God, not as a result of works, so that no one may boast. For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand, so that we would walk in them. So here we are, all of us, dead in our trespasses and sins. We're on this path, living according to the ways of this world, living according to the ruler who exercises authority over this world, which we all know is the devil. We're thinking things and doing things that follow our fleshly temptations, and we are feeding the fleshly desires that come out of our hearts. This is the path that leads to sin and death, or this is the path that is sin, but it clearly leads to death. The second path, which is optional, will become clearer in verse 4 and on. But first, something happens to make this second path possible. Two words, but God. God's work. He intervened. He interrupted the path that humanity was on and does a very big something. And why? Because of his rich mercy and his great love for all of us. And what did he then do? He made us alive in Christ, even though we were dead in our trespasses. In verse 9, it is by grace through faith that we have been saved. It is the gift of God, and not because of anything we have done or could ever do. All we have to do is believe in the finished work at the cross, where Jesus willingly paid the debt for our sin. He took our place and died for our sin, died for us, each one of us. It is a step of faith to believe this, and that it is available to everyone. But it is a choice, an option to follow this new and better path of believing and accepting Christ into your life. and it means trusting in Him for the rest of your life, your earthly life journey, and not trusting in yourself or in your ways. It's a life of hope, anchored and secure now and for eternity. It's a step of faith that leads to a path of life and peace, all starting the moment that we say yes to Jesus and to know that you will spend eternity in heaven with Him. And that is something, wow, that is a game changer. That is a life changer. What God did, it changes everything. I can't think of anything else to be more thankful for this Thanksgiving weekend than what God did. And I hope that you take a moment to take stock of this fact and are renewed in your awe of God, in your awe of who he is, in awe of what He did. Because if He didn't interrupt or intervene on man's path of sin and death, we would have been stuck on that awful path. But on a much happier note, do continue this week, this month, this year, every day, all year round, in thankfulness for all that God has done and all that He keeps doing. And I look forward to seeing you next Monday. Take care, guys. Bye for now.